Hello visuals, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Pokemon Thursday, the day of the week we talk about how can we sound the most like Megatron. It's quite hard to get that proper gravelly, well it depends which Megatron we talk about. If we just say what the fuck's his name again? Michael Bay, it was fucking Optimus Prime, Decepticons. Optimus. Nah, see, I can't do it. How about failing it sound like Megatron? Let's talk about Pokemon, because it is really Pokemon Thursday. Fooled you once again. Fucking saying fool me fucking twice, eat some grapes, fool me 3 times, I'll fucking burn your face. Some shit like that. More specifically, Pokemon visuals, we're going to talk about the non-main series Pokemon games, the Pokemon Stadiums, the Pokemon Pinballs, Snaps of the world. We're going to talk about my favourite non-main series Pokemon games. A quick chuck out there. I'm not a huge fan of. There are some of the spin-off games that I do really adore, but the overall version of it all, I'm not a massive fan of. I don't love playing a lot of these other different Pokemon games, apart from a couple which we'll get to in a sec. So visuals, it's my 5 favourite non-main series Pokemon games. Here's a fuck about mine. I want to know yours. I want to know which games you smashed that weren't in the main series. Pokemon Red, Blue and Yellow, fuck off. Give us Pokemon Art Academy or whatever the fuck it's called. Pokemon Gold and Silver, see you later, son. We want some friggin' mystery dungeon. Please let me know which ones you played and which ones you still play and love in the comments below. But here are my 5 favourite. Like I said, I'm not huge on the Ranger, the Rumble, the Dash, the fucking mystery dungeons of the world and stuff like that. I mean, they're fine, but I don't adore them. So yeah, it's just 5 that I absolutely adore. Why am I harping on about the 5? We know what the list is. We know what the crack is. We've done it. Here's my fucking list. I feel like I have to include this, even though my love for it's completely dropped off, but for a, well, not for a small period of time, a large amount of time, but Pokemon Go, I absolutely adored it. I friggin' loved what Pokemon Go did when it first came out, and it got loads of people out and about, just all trying to catch the fucking Bellsprouts and the Oddyshes and the Pidgeys and the Rattatas and trying to evolve their starter Pokemon, whether it be Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, whoever it is they got off. They ran away a few times and got a Pikachu instead, which is a fun little Easter egg. Eventually finally getting, oh, we finally got Ditto, the first legendaries to come out and shit like that. I absolutely loved what Pokemon Go did. I remember going around with my mates and feeling like getting a little glimpse of being a kid again with your mates, you know, getting your packets and getting your link cables together and doing some trades and going, oh, I've caught, you know, a wild whatever it may be. And I had really shitloads of fun with it. But I just feel like the game got extremely stale. Listen, I know that it can't be completely up to date now. It needs to give itself longevity. It can't be like, here's every generation in a wanna, see you later, boom, go, even though the likes of Way Coco and all that are out. I just feel like it just sort of went stagnant. It was, and it made it far too easy to shiny hunt as well. Shiny hunt was like finding a hidden gem. Now the amount of shiny Pokemon I've got because of Pokemon Go, it's fun because I've got them as shinies, but it's like I don't feel like I've really earned them or got that lucky, especially when a community day comes around and you can walk home with like fucking 19 to fucking 30 shiny Larvatars. You're like, all right, great, and the shiny lose their value. I also didn't like that it was dependent constantly on other stuff. I remember when the legendaries first come out, and it was it a Lugia we did as our first raid, legendary raid, and obviously, we needed a group of us there, and I get it, makes sense. Lugia is a super duper strong, powerful legendary Pokemon, but I've always thought Pokemon, as much as in the anime in that it's a companionship. It's, you know, it's you and it's more Ash and Misty and Brock and all that stuff. But in the games, it's a solo adventure. It's you and your Pokemon going out in the wild doing all this crazy stuff. And I didn't like how dependent it was on to only have groups. Oh, there's not a Arcuno there. Oh, you're going to catch it if like 10 of you more come along and you do your shit in your raid. Oh, by the way, you might not catch it straight away though, because you'll run out of a certain amount of balls and you'll have to come and do it again. And it started to become really time consuming. I'll be sat chilling doing my things like, fuck, there's a Kyogre just hatched. I still need one of them. And I'll have to fucking nash somewhere else in it in the hopes that we might, I don't know, it felt like a massive inconvenience and a bit of a nuisance, to me anyway, that is. I still don't mind doing the battles, of course, we do the battles on the channel, but yeah, so it's massively fallen off for me, but it did at one point for a good few years. It was everything. Every time I walked anywhere, fun was out, catching what I could and all that stuff, and I did have loads of fun with it. I just think it fell really flat. 4 is Pokemon Snap. Now, I don't necessarily know about the new one, even though it was cool and fun and looked amazing. I'm speaking more about the old one. I remember getting to the end of that little weird track and seeing Mew, but before that, going through the different planes, you know, jungly bits, water bits and all that stuff, and just being like, oh my god, picture. And I don't know if it was the young kid in me being like, oh, this feels like I'm actually out and about on a real Pokemon adventure in their environments and their habitats and shit, which was always a fucking dream. It's still a dream of mine fucking now, for fuck's sake. So I don't know what it was, but I had fun going around, just going back and taking pictures of them and, you know, doing your thing and being, oh, you saw it like this. And like I said, in the new one, catch a Pokemon doing this, like the Pidgey, was it Pidgeotto or Pidgey, whoever flies away with the Magikarp, finding Lugia at the bottom, doing different courses and Milotic, seeing Milotic and, you get Xerneas at one point and stuff. It is a fun game, and being able to go inside of the habitats of the Pokemon and stuff. Like, if they had a Jurassic Park theme park, but for Pokemon, like, that would be absolutely insane. I would love that. So yeah, Pokemon Snap, but more specifically, the original one. Pokémon Tournament. I fucking love this game. I even did a video on this channel where I did like a stupid little weird workout, saying like, oh, it's out in like 5 days or some shit, what the video was about. But I really enjoyed this because I'm not a massive fan, but I do have a lot of love for fighting games. When I was younger, it was always Tekken, it was always Street Fighter and stuff. I'm not huge Mortal Kombat, I like it, I just never really played it that much for whatever reason. Same with Street Fighter, was amazing, also played that a fair bit, but Tekken was always my main fighting game. Yoshimitsu and Jin and Paul and everybody, Iron King, all of that sort of stuff, that was my jam. So to go into this game, we've got Sceptile ready to kick off, we've got Charizard in there doing its stuff, obviously we've got the evil Mewtwo going about kicking shit in, you've got the support Pokemon that comes in and help you. It was a really fun thing, yeah, especially when you could Mega Evolve in the middle of it, and obviously Machamp was doing his stuff, but it was really fun to sit back and have this new, weird, wacky, wonderful world of Pokemon where you're just kicking the fuck out of each other. I don't know if I could ever play some of the professional bastards that play it. When I'm watching them fight, I'm thinking, you lot are a bit too extreme for me. I just had fun doing the story, going around, becoming the champion. Like I said, I personally did the game with Sceptile. I love using Sceptile on it. It was fun, it was weird using like Charizard and shit. I don't know, I just feel like it'd be a bit slow, especially for a quick, fast-paced fighting game. But hey, it did its job, it worked and whatnot. But yes, Pokémon Tournament, phenomenal game. Pokemon, the TCG, the video game. What a fun game that was. That was one of the most dopest little games you could. Even the theme tune constantly playing in the back. Do 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 do. I just completely sang it wrong, didn't I? I can hear it in my head and I'm singing it wrong. Anyway, going around getting your different badges, beating the different club leaders, whatever they called them back then. So constantly changing your deck, filling your album, getting like the special edition cards, trying to collect every single card you could, taking on the Elite Four of this and whatnot. Going for it was so much fun, just battling away, being like, oh, I've got my Bulbasaur, oh, I can evolve it to an Ivysaur, then oh, we're gonna do super effective damage, and oh, I've got a potion. We can. It was fun, especially if you didn't have anyone you could play the card game with, and you were dying to play it, it was always great to chuck it on. Or if you were new to the card game and you just collected it but you never played it and you thought, I'm going to try and learn, it was a great way to learn it. It was so much friggin' fun, and it looked great for the time and what it was and shit like that. And I remember going through and, like I said, beating the Elite Four, well, they're a version of the Elite Four and stuff, and collecting all your little medals and stuff and going. And it was quite fast as well. You move through places, because obviously the map's small anyway. You just go from building to building. You don't actually walk around in the open world or out. But going from building to building, and just going through everybody, talking to everybody, beating everybody, and the weird little guy that, what was his name again, who'd give you the weird fucking cards, just be stashed around from point to point and stuff like that. But not only as well, starting off like it was in a real game, you'd start off, you'd be talking to the professor, and you'd get your decks and all, you'd choose your deck and whatnot. It was so great, and it was so fun. I've gone back and I've replayed it so many friggin' times. It was awesome. I can't for the life of me remember though. I'm fairly confident you got a free card or a couple of cards when you bought the game, but I can't remember what the fuck it was. Somebody can quickly put in the comments below what it was. I could Google it, but once again, lazy Dan won't. But yeah, the Pokemon TCG video game, beautiful game. Leaves us with the #1 spot, going to Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium is an absolute thing of beauty, from the matches with the with the stupid, annoying commentary. What will the opponent do next? Oh, it's a Vileplume. That was super effective. It was so dumb, but I fucking loved it. The constant missing, because obviously you'd have to go in with the decent strategy. Like, if you wanted Alakazam, it would probably maybe be better to have Kadabra, because it'd have slightly better attacks and whatnot. And they made sure you had to be sort of selective with your Pokemon. Like, Charmeleon might come with Fire Blast, whereas Charizard only gets Fire Spin. Being caught in a wrap or a fire spin or whatever was a pain in the ass. Constantly missing with hypnosis and all that kind of shit. And the animations, you hit Gengar with something and he falls back and or when certain Pokemon faint and shit. Like, the animation was just great. But then going through the different cups, going through the gym leaders, going through the Elite Four, and putting your Game Boy onto it and putting the cartridge, all of this stuff I still have. And then going through the game on your TV in fast mode and shit like that. It was just an amazing game. For me, personally, Pokemon Stadium is definitely just as iconic as the original games, without a shadow of a doubt. I feel like the two come side by side. Pokemon Stadium was so much fun. You'd get your mates around, or you go to your mates' house. You'd all plug in a pad each, and you were playing the mini games, whether it be the chucking the Ekans game around the Diglets, or you're doing your Harden game, or the Rattata run game. They were so much fun. The Clefairy game, I have always been and will always be fucking horrendous at. You know, fairy, doing that one. And you would get like the first 4, then the first 6, and I think after that I was gone. Whatever come at that bottom line, I could not remember. I'll be up, left, right, and my one. Be constantly getting hammered and fucked up. Next thing you know, I'm completely dead. The Sandshrew Dig game was you sat there with your mates, fucking, you figured out my hands are on fire because you're trying to smash away so quickly. The Drowsy Sleep one, that was a pain in the ass. The Pikachu Voltorb game. Who am I missing? The Lickitung Eat game where you'd fucking have that crazy voice of, oh, and then you'd fucking eat your shit. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was such a great game. Pokemon Stadium, still play it to this day. Still absolutely love it. And if I remember correctly, yeah, I've been playing on the Switch as well. It is on the Switch as well now, isn't it? I'm fairly certain it is. Yeah, no, it definitely is. So, Pokemon Stadium, what a friggin' game. Here we go, visuals, my 5 favourite non-main series Pokemon games. I don't think we've ever done this list before, but I thought we need to do this list because, and as well, there's a few games that I understand why they're main series, but I don't know if I would have classed them like Pokemon Legends. I thought, yes, it's a main series game, but I always thought it was kind of like a spin-off kind of what-if scenario. I know it's going to be the past going into the future and that, but yeah, just because obviously it's not the main traditional stuff of a Pokemon game, I always thought, oh, it's a bit different, but no. It's a main series game, I do stand corrected. But yes, visuals, I want to know your favourites. Please, in the comments below, let me know all your favourite and least favourites and all this and that and your fond memories and stuff. If you do love Mystery Dungeon, amazing, let me know. Or Pokemon Dash or Ranger or whatever it may be. But more importantly, visuals, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the freaking best, you beautiful bunch of bastards. And remember to always keep being you and keep on keeping on.